Hi, today I wanted to talk about the plants for the garden. I want my garden to be fairy-like, to be magical. I want animals to be invited in, and I want wild flowers to bloom. I want blues, I want blacks, and I want tinges of red in my plantings. I want the garden to be as pretty at night as it is during the day. I want it to be inviting but otherworldly. It will be a lot of work, and maybe what I will show you later is boring, but I do think that everything has to start at least with some sort of a dream or a plan for the space that you have. And to do that, I made a garden plan. It is to scale, with one brick being 1 by 1 meter. So this is in general what I work with. For now, this part that's called Meadow for Animals is all just a wild meadow, and I might want to sow some wildflowers or plants that make the soil better in the long run. But it's not fenced, and anything that comes from here has access to anything that grows here, and therefore it will be eaten. The same fate met quite many plants that I have in the garden. Right, so we move in through the wonky road. So all of this area is for now just gravel. Everything else that you can see, so starting from here to all of the back, is a very unmaintained lawn that you can see in my previous videos. What I mapped out is where the home is, where we have the garage. Here I mapped out two water source points that we have. We have the compost pile, we have the trees that are already planted. So there are a few bushes here, two conifers here, a plum, another tiny plum, and a tiny cherry tree. You have seen the bush borders. This one is the main bush border, brush border that I have maintained. There's the bushes next to the terrace. Here we're maybe planning a fire pit. And this is the only bush border that I uncovered and used the part that was gravel to grow spring flowers. Now, as you can see clearer, here is the garage. Both the garage and the house have birds' nests within the roof tile. We are not planning to get rid of them, even we know that they might bring some damage. For now, all of this is unoccupied, but what we would like is to make all of these flower beds. All of these roads here, this is paved, all of this is paved, and we're not gonna dismantle it. Here's the terrace. We have a pergola over the terrace, and here's the stairs down going to the fire pit. Behind the house there's also a small piece of lawn. I've already planted some flowers there, but they will be coming up later. The early spring bloomers are next to those two conifers. So what my plans are, I do plan to have some more paths through the unmaintained lawn, so that it's just easier to traverse. One path that basically gets created naturally is this one. We do travel along this bush border on the level beyond these stairs a lot. Second would be a border going here and going back to the water spot along the fence. Second here, one leading to the water source, and then one going along this bush border to the compost pile. I will also include this drying line area with the same markings. Why? Because all of this and these low paths, I intend to maybe put stepping stones along them, and between the stepping stones I plan to plant flowers. Just so you understand, I'm looking for an effect like this, just with a bit more flowers. Going back to the garden plan, I would like to put some vines throughout most of the fence. This fence is from the south side, and before it had the wild vine on this, but I would like to plant here some more delicate climbing flowers. As you can see, our fence doesn't really close, so I plan for now to just cover this piece of fence and the fence that is next to our terrace. Finally, I would also like to put wisteria over our pergola, but I don't know if that's the best choice for the placement. This is something that I will try to find information from some more experienced gardeners. I do love wisteria flowers though. I am also reaching out to get information on whether it would make sense for us to have a wildlife pond. If I put it, I would probably put it here or somewhere here. I would prefer this placement mostly because the window that I look out from most often is on this side of the house. That would get me not only frog songs throughout the year, but also a view of little birds drinking, and maybe attract something more. I do have some pheasants that often hang out next to the two conifer trees. The only reason why I'm questioning putting a pond here is the fact that farther away this way, our land ends in a stream, so we have plenty of water available for wildlife. I do wonder if they would be more attractive to visit our garden if we put the water here as well. Another addition to this place will be a raised beds garden. I am considering putting them here. I don't know how big I want them, so this year, whatever the setup will be temporary. With it being temporary, it would allow me to experiment and determine how much planting room I actually want and need in my garden. But this is the place they are most likely to end up. The plan for this, which is the chicken coop, I would like to have a chicken coop here. For now, this place is occupied by the pile of sticks. The pile of sticks will be most likely moved out in the garden far, far away to the very edge of this meadow. This way, the wildlife will have easier access to it, and I will attempt to attract more hedgehogs and bugs there. Here, I'm planning to have a chicken coop. It probably won't be this year, but maybe the next. We do have a foundation there that was made by previous owners, and we might want to use it as the base for our chicken coop set. On this side of the house, we do have the water from the roof draining into the soil. It has good drainage, planted there some irises. I hope they do enjoy it. If not, the placement will be changed. I want to have there some more water plants though, if the irises work out. Here, I want to pave the place with stones and create a fire pit. For the fire pit, I intend to pave it, and I plan to have a bowl that will allow for us to have a fire. However, I do not plan having it on a pedestal, and I really hope that this shape of a bowl will be available for me somewhere locally, as I think it will fit the garden better. For now, we will not be addressing all of this area or the road, because this area will change probably the most and the soonest. After all of the technical work is done there, I plan to use the eco-grate and plant all of this area with small creeping plants that might fill it, instead of leaving it all gravel and uneven. I'd rather have small diminutive flowers here than just multicolored rocks. For the tiny planters that I have, I know I already messed up. I wanted to plant some blue poppies in there, but I no longer have that ability as all of them sold out. So I want to plant here some blue flowers. They might turn out to be ranunculuses, but I'm not sure yet. For the rest of the garden, I don't have plants that are very specific. General idea that I have just to plant in these places that are left from establishing the paths. Generally, we work like this, with the biggest brushes in the middle of the tadpole shape. So we will still have, I don't plan to plant here very tall bushes. I do want to still be able to see animals on the wildlife meadow that we have. So all of the bushes have to be relatively close to the ground. I also hope that if we have higher vegetation, more of the animals will actually visit us closer by, as all of this for now is just open space with no hiding spots. Here, from the other unattractive elements of the garden, here we have our bins. I do want to eventually, and here we have a lot of trash. I do intend to eventually create a small pergola here to cover over the bins and maybe plant something that will grow on top of the pergola to cover that. Same plant of planting a vine, I have to plant it on the compost pile box, as it is quite high and doesn't really look pretty at all.